Two NASA astronauts will soon suit up to make history as the first two to fly aboard Boeing Starliner spacecraft. We are tracking liftoff of this flight test at 12:25 and 40 seconds p.m. Eastern Time from Florida's Space Coast to the International Space Station.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4.
I feel the liftoff. The clock has started.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Godspeed, John Glenn.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground.
New possibilities are opening up for scientific cooperation between countries.
2, 1, 0. Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Discovery, Roger, go for deploy.
Thanks to you and to everybody in the shuttle program. The crew is go for launch.
Hothead, nice to be in orbit.
We have followed in their footsteps to get us where we are today.
Good morning and welcome to NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida for NASA's Boeing Crew Flight Test, or CFT. I'm NASA, and actually we are getting our first look inside of the historic suit-up room within Kennedy Space Center's Neil A. Armstrong Operations and Checkout Building. Our first views of NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams. We have a close-up now of Butch there, getting seated and situated before what we expect to be a suit leak check for him, right, Mike?
Yes, so these suits, not only are they good looking, but they have a purpose in case there's a cabin leak. The little mask can't come down like you see on an airplane. We have to have the whole our whole bodies pressurized, so these space suits serve that purpose in case there's a major leak in the cabin. So we need to know before we put them into the spacecraft that they work. Yeah. And you can see Butch putting getting his boots put on, and Sunny's already standing up and checking things out.
She looks like she can run in the suit. She looks very comfortable.
Yeah, those boots are really fantastic. The whole suit is manufactured by David Clark in Worcester, Massachusetts, and Reebok is also another Massachusetts company. So they work together for some cool space boots. But you can see Sunny is enthusiastic and very excited today.
Ascent begins at T-0, liftoff, the end of the countdown and the beginning of the mission. Shortly afterwards, at T+12 seconds, the rocket rolls, lining up Starliner with its target orbit and putting the astronauts in a heads-up position. Then, around T+40 seconds, max Q starts. That's also known as max aerodynamic pressure. This is a critical time when the atmospheric forces reach their highest. Next, at about +1 minute 35 seconds, the two solid rocket boosters run out of fuel and burn out, and about a minute later they separate from the booster. The Atlas booster engine continues to burn for almost 2 more minutes. Then at approximately +430, booster engine cutoff, or BECO. About 5 seconds later, the booster separates and so does the ascent cover on top of Starliner. At around 4 minutes 45 seconds, the Centaur upper stage ignites, continuing the push to orbital speeds. Then a little after 5 minutes, Starliner is free of the atmosphere and doesn't need additional aerodynamic support, and the aeroskirt is jettisoned. After a long 6+ minute push from Centaur, main engine cutoff, or MECO, happens around 12 minutes after liftoff. Then, when Centaur successfully separates almost 15 minutes after launch, ULA's job is done. But Starliner is not quite in orbit yet. After a 16-minute coast, Starliner ignites 4 of its orbital maneuvering and attitude control, or OMAC engines, for the orbital insertion burn, and then 31 minutes after liftoff, the ascent profile is complete.
The That was a look at the first 30 minutes of Starliner's journey into space, but of course that's just the beginning on getting it on its way to the International Space Station. So next we're going to check in with NASA's Rob Navius, who's waiting on launch just down the hall with the Space Station Flight Control Team. Rob?
Thank you, Brandy, and good morning from Mission Control in Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where flight controllers are monitoring the countdown for the Atlas V launch and keeping tabs on the Expedition 71 crew aboard the orbital outpost. The 7 station crew members are awake at this hour on a Saturday, having just watched the unpiloted Progress 88 cargo craft dock to the Poisk module of the International Space Station. That flawless docking occurred at 6:43 a.m. Central Time, 7:43 a.m. Eastern Time. With that milestone having been completed, the crew's full attention can now turn to the expected arrival of the Boeing Starliner on Sunday afternoon.
So if you notice us pause, that's what we're doing. We just want to make sure you can hear everything. So now let's check in with NASA's Daryl Nell over at Hangar AE. Daryl.
All right, thank you very much. And as you can see on your screen here, this is the card game.
LC, SMD on channel 1 for a comp check. Cuddy here.
I have you loud and clear on channel 1.
I have you the same, LC, SMD out.
You just heard the launch conductor there. Nothing
LC
too big to
flight,
report.
Com check on air to ground 1. I have you loud and clear on channel 1. Copy, I have you loud and clear on CST, air to ground 1. This completes hold call authority com check. Roger.
Okay, so ground, some comm checks that you can hear there. But again, this is the traditional card game. You see Sonny and Butch there with Joe Acaba, the lead there for the mission today. And I see 2 camera angles here for the first time, so we actually get to see their cards. But the point of this game, and of course Mike Fink and Megan can talk more about this, but as we're looking at it, since we're watching it now, they're playing a card game, and they're going to play this game until the commander, Butch, loses. And the whole point of this is to take all that any bad luck and get rid of it on the card game, right? So they want Joe there to win the hand, and they're playing the hand out.
Now minus 3 hours, 35 minutes.
With pictures of Starliner, has a license plate that says Ride to Space. When the door opens, steps fold out. The inside can seat up to 8 people with room for the astronauts' portable air ventilators that keep the crew cool. The Astrovan also includes a TV and sound system, so crew can watch or listen to whatever they want on their way to the pad.
Yeah, this Astrovan was it's super comfortable, and even though it held 8, there was just 3 of us last time, and Butch and Sonny are going to ride out today just by themselves. They told me last night that they'll miss me, but I'm not sure that they really will, because they're getting ready to go to launch. It's a very smooth ride. We have great drivers, and we even have a backup Astrovan.
Expect Butch and Sonny to leave the suit-up room inside that building you see there. Here they are. Commander Butch Wilmore and pilot Sonny Williams walking to an elevator at the end of the hallway to depart astronaut crew quarters. Looks like they have some roses in hand. Oh, that's really sweet, Mike. They're handing it out to some folks there in the ONC.
Again, Butch and Sonny are really about the team, and Butch made sure that there were roses for the ladies, and I think even some of the guys.
Yeah, one just got a rose right there. It's the thought that counts, really.
And it's really, they take such good care of us while in quarantine, and Butch and Sonny
LC Slick on channel 1.
Longer quarantine than usual.
Hatch open ops complete. Confined space checks are nominal.
Roger.
A wave there from Butch and Sonny as the elevator doors close.
Came back, so they had some sandwiches ready, and here they are.
Our CFT crew taking their first steps outside for their historic flight test to the International Space Station. Commander Butch Wilmore on your left and pilot Sonny Williams to your right. Waving to the crowd there. Their friend Mike here at the host desk applauding them from afar. Some roses still left in Butch's hand. I'm sure he'll hand them off to some of the crowd there that's outside of the ONC.
I think his wife and daughters are there, so he definitely wants to show appreciation for how patient his family has been.
Well, and you did say that Butch and Sonny have been in quarantine for a very long time now. April 22nd is when they went into quarantine.
Yeah, it's been a long time. They were allowed to see their family, but from a distance. So this is as close as they've been for a while. But we do really respect the health stabilization program. We don't want our friends aboard the space station to get sick and impact the mission for sure.
Talk to us about the people who are here, right? And there's different tiers that talk about or that have to do with how close they can get to the astronauts, right?
Flight control team and mission control. The team here took control of Starliner a little less than an hour ago, and they've been working through a number of steps in the pre-launch checklist since then. But even before that, one of the first things they did after coming on console was a weather briefing with the crew and crew quarters, and that was a quick conversation because the weather's looking very good for today's launch opportunity.
The team here in Houston is continuing to work through their pre-launch checklists. Right now they're working in a little bit more of a monitor mode, keeping the spacecraft stable while Butch and Sunny head to the pad, and the teams in Kennedy Space Center are preparing Starliner for their arrival. Once the crew gets strapped into their seats and the hatch is closed, things here will start to pick back up as we perform cabin leak checks and monitor Starliner's life support systems, hosting crew for the first time to space.
And then in the last 20 minutes before launch, there are a few important actions they'll work through, switching Starliner to internal power and working with the crew to activate the launch.
And any human spaceflight mission that we support. This team monitors the health and performance of the rocket during ascent to space. Our engineers provide real-time status and collaborate directly with NASA's flight director and mission control in Houston. When you hear the call sign Atlas, that's our ascent lead, and he'll be providing real-time telemetry data from the rocket and provide continued situational awareness.
Crew is entering CAT elevator.
All right, Dylan,
Roger.
as the crew is heading into the elevator, we are going to send it back over to Megan, Dee, and Mike.
Now, Mike, this is different from the first launch attempt. Before they got out, you were with them, you took pictures of them viewing the rocket. Today, they opted to just go straight to the elevator.
Yeah, I think they, well, they probably miss me a little bit, but it's also, they've been there and done that. And today is really about focusing on the mission. So they took a few, they didn't take a few extra moments to appreciate the Atlas and Centaur, breathing and living, and they went straight to the, and they're going straight up the elevator right now, straight to the rocket. And I just know what it feels like stepping out of the Astrovan, and here they are getting ready.
On level 12.
Getting ready to get inside, and it's just it's a great feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment to be here at this day at this time. This is something that the whole team has been working for many years.
And you know what's different, obviously, since we're launching during the day, they had great views of the rocket on their way to the pad. So, like you said, they probably had their opportunity to look at their ride to space, and now they just want to get in. So now on level 12 of the crew access tower, we see Sunny there with some of the pad team members. Butch went into that door there. That's a bathroom, and this is an important step in the countdown, obviously.
Yeah, well, great teammate, and I'm glad he got a phone call.
Yeah. A view of the crew access arm. From our helicopter that we have flying around the pad right now. We see Sunny there on the railing, taking a look out. Yeah, you can get a great view from up there. Who needs to get out of the Astrovan and recline up?
So yeah, this is the crew transport vehicle to go away. So Butch and Sunny are stuck there now, so they might as well go launch.
And here they are walking across the crew access arm. Butch stopping to take a quick look at his spacecraft and launch vehicle.
And you can see they stepped on that little white sticky mat to make sure that anything that they may have had on their boots doesn't get inside the spacecraft and possibly into the space station. We do try to keep a very clean ship both up and down and aboard the space station. Looks like they're saying a quick prayer for a successful mission.
Yeah, these are other pad team members who are in the white room now with Butch and Sunny. The White Room, a literal name for this room from back in the Gemini era to quite literally describe this room that will be the last stop before they get into the Starliner spacecraft. It's environmentally controlled to keep out dust and dirt and humidity.
Yeah, in case a chippa gets broken or glove is missing, we have a few spares available.
Team lead, LC.
The launch conductor's calling.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. For step 160, 16 personnel have exited the FHA roadblock.
Roger. Starliner Houston on 1.
Go on 1.
Just giving you an update. ULA is working an issue with a Centaur topping valve. No safety concerns. We're monitoring, and we'll let you know where it goes, but that's the reason for the delay on hatch closure. We'll keep you abreast.
In Starliner flight, we merged Channel 1 and Air-to-Ground 1, so LC, give the crew and the pad team an update.
Roger, and Starliner, can you copy me?
Catch it loud and clear, LC.
Roger. So at this time, what we have is a control issue going to the LOX and hydrogen topping valve. So they are both closed this time, so we're not topping Centaur at this time. So we put in a troubleshooting plan together, and we're going to switch the control logic from VRIC 3 to VRIC 1 because we have redundancy in our control system. And so we're going to switch to VRIC 1 and hopefully restore this topping control and get the vehicle back into topping mode. AC, LC, channel 1.
AC on 1.
Roger. During the transfer, it appears that we did pick up Centaur helium bottle venting command, which looks like, I don't know, we vented about 1,000 PSI. If you would please convene the anomaly team and provide a recommendation.
We'll go.
And as they re-enabled comm with the valves, it looks like they had some startup transients, and they're looking into what happened, including the helium pressurization tanks. So they definitely are looking at it with the anomaly team, and they should have some recommendations soon.
So basically, they had transferred to that redundant data tracker. And when they did that, they felt confident to start topping off liquid oxygen and hydrogen in the Centaur again. But in doing that, they got another
Go ahead, Loxia.
At this time, I'm about
indicator.
to resume topping, but I will need to perform the transfer line.
Roger, proceed.
Hydrogen, and as it's already has all the fuel in it, but since they're liquid, they're very cold and they kind of boil off, so we just add a little bit more on top, so we top it off.
1 hour, 10 minutes.
The two valves that were used for topping off lost insight for their control algorithms, so they couldn't see the sensors, and it was an upstream bus, so they changed the control algorithm and logic, and got back in business. So we were back on the launch timeline. The crew was informed. Everybody was talked to about it. Never in danger. Just a way to just having to relook at a different control system and sensors. So
Williams.
Starliner at Houston on 1. Good pressure. The side hatch is being configured now. Audible noises may be heard.
Standing by, thanks.
She enjoys hanging out.
Triage 6, if necessary.
the crew was just calling in. They just got some data.
Yeah, those are all good words, Starliner. Good readback. One additional item for you. In the commander's folio, you'll recall you have your two tablets. You've got a serial number 12 and a serial number 13. They're both ready to go, but one thing for you, serial number 12, we were looking at footage here. Its time is out of sync, so it's no issue for you till orbit. When you're on orbit, you'll want to get that tablet, serial number 12, back in sync with the time on your DUs. It's only going to influence where you see the red line and bold. So if you did have to use bold before that, go ahead and do it on 13. Otherwise, we'll just resync in flight, and we can help you with that when we get there.
All right, good words. We'll copy that, and if we have any questions when we get there, we'll give you a call. And I have confirmed that I can reach the tablets.
and to configure their suit flow.
L minus 20 minutes.
Starliner, there's
Beanie 1, reinitiate AHV charging.
Configure
Roger.
suit flow.
RLM, verify redline monitor and event table are in the correct configuration for terminal count.
Verified.
RC, verify solar radiation acceptable for launch.
Verified.
Ground 1, ready for comm check with Starliner and Channel 1.
Roger. Starliner, LC, comm check on Channel 1.
LC, we got you loud and clear. Looks like we got all suit fans failed a warning.
Butch Wilmore.
And I copied your comm check, Starliner. In Capcom, did you catch that message?
And Starliner and LC Capcom A-firm, we see the messages. We're working more to follow. Stand by.
Here is a problem with the primary suit fan operation. They got to have that suit fan to keep the air circulating inside their suits. With that having a warning, they've asked, Capcom has asked the astronauts to pop open their visors so they can get some fresh air, and they'll work it into a redundant mode, going into a redundant suit fan. So they continue to work that. On his console, he's talking it over with Capcom. While they do that,
Starliner, visors open, please, while we work the suit fans. Visors open.
Back over.
Starliner, on our end, we brought suit fan Bravo back on. It looked good. We need both. We need to prove that A is also there, so we're commanding Alpha on and then off at this time. More to follow.
All right.
Yep, we see it. And we're still visors up, so you know. That's in work.
Starliner on internal power now. The spacecraft is running completely on its own. Ordnance has also been configured for launch. That means the devices that initiate our separation
events.
events.
We reactivated suit fan Bravo. Suit fan Alpha is also working, so we cleared our LCC condition. And for the crew, you can take visors down.
Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams make history as the first crew headed to the International Space Station on Boeing Starliner.
L minus 7 minutes.
Status check to proceed with terminal count. Atlas systems, propulsion.
Go.
Hydraulics.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
LO2.
Go.
Water.
Go.
Sensor systems, propulsion.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
LO2.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
Has gas.
Go.
Electrical systems, airborne.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Facility.
Go.
RFFTS.
Go.
Flight control.
Go.
GCQ.
Go.
Op support.
Go.
COM.
Go.
Umbilicals.
Go.
Arm control.
Go.
ECS.
Go.
Redline monitor.
Go.
Quality.
Go.
Op safety manager.
Go.
ULA safety officer.
Go.
Vehicle system engineer.
Go.
Anomaly chief.
Go.
Range coordinator.
Clear to proceed.
Flight director.
Houston flight is go.
Starliner.
Starliner, go.
Launch director.
You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count. ALC, verify T0 is set for 16:25:40 Zulu.
Verified.
LC, to all of you sitting on console, whether you're in Houston, BMCC, ASOC, Atlas, this is a great day to be proud of your nation. And all of you listening as well, whether you're at Banana Creek or the Causeway or the rooftop at LCC or the ASOC and other places around our nation, like the Bay Area building and other places where you are viewing what's taking place. Again, for you, it's a great day to be proud of your nation, great day to be proud of Boeing, great day to be proud of UOA and NASA. And we are one nation under God, indivisible. And when you together, we together use the power of that combination, we can do some pretty amazing things. So LC, with that, we are ready to put some fire in this rocket and propel this spacecraft to the International Space Station, where all these fine Americans have designed and have prepared it to be.
Calypso, take us to space and back.
Hold. Flight control receive to CCLS, hold it. Approximately T-minus 350.
LC switch not ready. All personnel turn to recycle section. Operation 80. LC switch is not ready. Clock stopped at T-minus 3 minutes 50 seconds. Starliner, you should not hear any vent at this point.
Starliner standing by.
Okay, consoles, step 60, report launch vehicle status. Atlas lead. Atlas tank pressures and helium bottles stable. Atlas propulsion system stable. Roger. Centaur lead.
Centaur tank pressures and helium bottles stable. Centaur propulsion system stable. Has gas readings nominal.
Roger. Vehicle electrical. VE channel 1.
LC, this flight control.
Go ahead.
Subset Kilo, flight control ready.
Roger.
There you heard confirmation of the scrub call for this launch attempt today. Again, this was the ground launch sequencer, essentially the computer that launches.
LC.
Roger.
This is the computer that is
okay,
in
all
charge.
personnel going to Operation 85. OSM, LC.
OSM.
Establish the BDA roadblocks and open the flight hazard area.
Roger.
And all personnel on Channel 1 will be starting an approximate 65-minute hold at this time for flight crew egress. All systems maintain T-4 and holding configuration. 100's on ground power. Roger.
Of course, there'll be a lot of data to look at, but
and flight LC.
And if we've got Lauren Brennicky on, our PAO with the Boeing team. Okay, we just heard a call that the blue team is entering the pad, and I can see them on the closed circuit television. They are in their van, as you can see there, the shot there, arriving back. This is the team that will head back up the launch tower and up and so safe. We talked about the rocket, the Atlas V, and the procedures they had to go through to make sure it was safe for people to go back to the pad and to pull the crew out. Starliner, as you know, was also safed. And they are headed in the elevator, getting ready to go up. Dylan, you're a launch conductor, and so you've done a number of launches. In situations like this, there can be a 24-hour recycle. We don't know if that's going to be the case yet. But tell me.
Setting up for that 24-hour turnaround, and there are a number of things that go into that coordination. The first of which would be immediately coordinating with the Space Launch Delta 45, our Eastern Range partner, to let them know that we are intending to utilize that day, which actually has already been scheduled as a backup launch day. So we'll be coordinating that with their teams, and all the support that we get from the SLD 45. And additionally, we'll be working to establish our systems on Launchpad 41 in a state that is ready for another launch attempt tomorrow. So even though we do still have some work to do this afternoon, which will include detanking Atlas and Centaur, at the end of the day, probably approximately 4 hours from now, we'll have the vehicle fully detanked, and we'll have the systems turned around and ready for another countdown opportunity tomorrow. So that. And Daryl, in situations like this, we have the rocket here on Launchpad 41, and that does get most of our attention, but it's easy to sometimes lose track of the fact that we do really have a large network of assets that support missions like this. So for instance, we've heard from the Houston team, so we've got the folks in Houston that will be taking actions as well. We have support from the
team began to what's called safe the rocket, essentially making sure that all of those high energy systems are put into a configuration that is safe for people to be out there on the pad, and for the astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, to come out of the capsule and head back to astronaut crew quarters. It also signals a time where this team right here was able to re-enter what's called a blast danger area, or BDA, and that's the area around the pad, because when this rocket is fully tanked, should something happen to it, there's an area in which it is considered dangerous. That rocket has to be put into a safe configuration before they allowed the blue team to come on board. That took about 20 or 30 minutes, the ULA team working through their procedures, and successfully so, as you can see now. And now we are just watching them as they work, providing you with the transparency on this operation. To what's called safe the rocket, essentially making sure that all of those high energy systems are put into a configuration that is safe for people to be out there on the pad, and for the astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, to come out of the capsule and head back to astronaut crew quarters. It also signals a time where this team right here was able to re-enter what's called a blast danger area, or BDA, and that's the area around the pad, because when this rocket is fully tanked, should something happen to it, there's an area in which it is considered dangerous. That rocket has to be put into a safe configuration before they allowed the blue team to come on board. That took about 20 or 30 minutes, the ULA team working through their procedures, and successfully so, as you can see now. And now we are just watching them as they work, providing you with the transparency on this operation.
system that the issue may have been associated with. We just know that it was a computer controlled hold that was initiated, and so our team immediately went into the securing steps to establish a safe, stable configuration for the vehicle. That data evaluation and works through the cause of the hold we had today.
That's a great point, Dylan. It is. I think you can liken it to the same posture that the systems engineers who are sitting on console, responsible for the various numerous systems that allow a rocket to launch into space. It's just like we're in a countdown, about T- or L-1 hour out. Very much focused on their consoles, watching the data, making sure that this rocket, which is still very much a live rocket at this point, is behaving and the data is coming back that is all nominal and safe while this operation happens. So I don't think it can be understated the focus that ULA is putting on that.
Again tomorrow or whenever that date may be. So we're focused and just going through the process as simulations, a process we have gone through many simulations until again we get to try to do this again.
Looks like Sunny is out of the spacecraft, and she's going to put some protective boot covers on her shoes, and they'll take her some items from her put it back in her helmet bag, and it looks like Butch is about to be heading out also. They're going to go back to crew quarters at this time and get ready.
And here they come out of the elevators again.
You can see they have their white booties on there. That's to make sure that any gravel or any small little, they executed it. When the clock is ticking, it was a little bit of a stressful time for the Centaur upper stage, and they handled that magnificently.
Yeah.
And so those are the lessons learned, to be operationally ready for things, because they will happen, and have plans in advance. What did Edna Mode say on The Incredibles? Luck favors the prepared.
Wow. That's a perfect a quote. You had to have that ready. Come on.
Oh yes.
That was so good. That was too perfect. The ULA team is continuing to look at the data and try to see exactly what happened with the ground launch sequencer today.
They might have a chance to spend a little bit of time with their families who are here for the launch, and get a chance to talk it through, and then of course dinner. Maybe it's just me missing the dinners at crew quarters.